What's up? Brandon Lilly here, coming to you live from Mexico. I've been getting a question from an athlete for a while now. It's something that actually, a lot of guys ask this question or ask questions about them. And I've been very hesitant to touch on it just because, I don't want to come across as someone who says this is the only way or this is the way that it has to be. But this athlete in particular has asked me, and being in Mexico, everything's legal, so I can talk about it. Um, this guy has asked, he said, I'm a drug free athlete. I'm in a tested federation. When is a good time, or what do you think is a good indicator for me to go to a non tested federation or to start using anabolics? Well, the fact of the matter is, if anabolic steroids didn't work, they wouldn't still be around. It tends to be that what works is what works, and they absolutely do work. You're going to get a benefit from them. Anybody that tells you that you won't is a liar. But anybody that says it's the only thing that it takes is also a liar. Um, Anything that you put into your body has to be done so with, you have to do it with caution. You can absolutely do it with reckless abandon. You can absolutely do it the wrong way. But the best advice I can give you is to research what you're about to do. You're putting a chemical compound into your body, a man-made chemical compound that is supposed to mimic the human body. So, um, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's absolutely a 100% a personal choice. But I think for an athlete, you have to realize, where do you want to go? What are your goals? And how far do you have to go to get there? There are some athletes that, they may have the goal of being the best, regardless of drugs or not. And they may get very, very close without drugs. And then one day they decide, okay, I'm going to take drugs, and they may very well go surpass that. Then there's going to be somebody else that says, you know what, I want to be the best drug tested lifter. They do that, they achieve their goals, they become the best drug tested lifter, then they get on drugs and go about their business. Or there may be somebody that says, you know what, I want to be the best, whatever. They take all the drugs in the world and they don't achieve their goals. You have to realize that what you're putting into your body is not going to make you a superhero. If you're John Doe average, you're going to be John Doe average on steroids. If you're above average genetics, you're going to be above average genetics plus steroids. If you're below average, you're going to be below average plus steroids. Now, what does that mean? It's all personal. So, it's not like something that's just going to become, you're going to go from one thing to the other. You're really just going to be probably a bigger, little bit stronger version of what you are right now. So if you stack up very well in a tested federation, I would say you'll probably stack up very well in a non-tested federation. I got my start doing NASA competitions. I did very, very well in NASA. Um, was setting some records at the time at the state and regional level. This was right before they redrafted the weight classes and whatnot. But I was a pretty good NASA lifter, and I enjoyed it there very much. And then just, life came in, took over. I started doing some strongman stuff and whatnot, and ended up back, doing the SPF. So it wasn't like I made the determination, okay, I'm going to a drug tested federation to a non tested federation. It was just what was available to me at the time. When I was young and I got started out, NASA competitions, they were putting flyers in the particular gym that I was going to. They were on the internet. I happened to look it up, and that's where I went. So, you know, I just think it's a personal choice. And like I said, I think for you, you're going to have to look at where you are amongst your peers in a tested federation and decide, okay, I'm pretty average right here, or I'm less than average, or I'm pretty good here, whatever that is. When you start taking drugs, that's probably where you're going to be in a tested federation or an untested federation. If you're good, you're going to be good. If you're middle, you're going to be in the middle. If you're bad, you're going to be at the bottom. So don't make this decision thinking that, oh, if I start taking steroids, I'm going to be the latest and greatest thing. That's probably not the case. So good luck to you in your decision. I encourage you to make the decision intelligently. Research it as much as you possibly can. It's a life-changing decision. Make sure that those that you love and care about are aware of it. I know a lot of guys hide it from family or spouses and things like that. But if you have their support completely, you have their support, and that means a lot. I think it's a terrible thing when the secret comes out, down the road somewhere, and it will come out. So, make the decision within yourself, talk about it with your family, your spouse, and good luck to you, like I said. Next question, Glenn Renz. Best way to build grip strength for the deadlift? It's going to be repetitions. As when I was growing up, excuse me, I worked on a farm, worked around tobacco, worked on auto equipment, and the reality of it is everything that I did was just mindless repetition. Stripping tobacco, when you were cutting tobacco, if you were turning a wrench on a car, whatever it was just rep after rep after rep after rep. So on your deadlifts, instead of going plate, 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 doing 1 or 2 reps every time, go plate, quarter, plate, quarter, plate, quarter, and do 3 to 5 reps every single time. The best way to build that meaty, thick hand strength is going to be repetitions. No way around it. I encourage you on your secondary movements like me. I do a floor pull, then I do block pulls, and I do deficits. Yeah, absolutely use the straps on the deficits and the block pulls. Save your hands, and get a little bit more work in your back and whatever. But on the first movement, the reps are going to help build your hands up. So don't use straps until later on in your exercises. Dan Jenkins asked, what kind of fruity drink will I drink? Got to be a pina colada. Ben Jackson, any advice on rehabbing a torn labrum? My friend, anything that's torn, just to be completely honest with you, if I had something that was torn, I'm going to go straight to my massage therapist, and from there I'm going to go to my chiropractor. The reason I say that is because those two people in my life are good people. They give me honest feedback. They would put me through general range of motion type stuff, give me an idea on a 1 to 10 scale of how bad I am. And there's sometimes that they would look at me and say, you know what, Brandon, you need to take some time off, or you need to go see a doctor, you need to have surgery. Whatever the reality of it is, they're going to give me honest feedback. Not knowing your situation, not having been around you or seen you train, I can't say how good or how bad your situation is, but I would definitely encourage you to try to do some mobility work, very slight. Just get some movement in the area. Don't let it get stiff. Don't let it become stagnant. Do something for it, but definitely go seek somebody advice that has some knowledge within the medical field and can guide you in the right direction. Doesn't always mean surgery, but you definitely want a good valued opinion. Norman Beans, what do you do for shoulders? Military press, side laterals, upright rows, a lot of shrug work, deadlifts. They definitely build the traps up. And can I train quads every day if they're weak? And if so, what lifts? I don't like doing quads more than 2 to 3 times a week. I think you can squat 2 to 3 times a week if you build up to it. If you start out doing it 3 times a week, you're probably going to beat yourself down. So start with 1 squat day. When you can amply recover from that, add a second. If you feel like you need a third at that point, add it in. But, just train your quads. Do leg extensions, do lunges, whatever it takes to build those quads up, do it. Renee Pedraza, to strengthen your bench coming off the chest, do a lot of repetition work with lighter weight with the buffalo bar. If you don't have the buffalo bar, do palm spacing dumbbells and really sink them low and explode through the bottom. I'm a big advocate of the pause press, pausing 1 to 2 inches off the chest, holding it for a 1 to 2 count, and exploding through, using anywhere from 65 up to 80%. Those things have done the most for my chest work, but the buffalo bar is a really good investment if you're looking for chest power. Shane Romano, is kettlebell work helpful? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's great. Donnie Thompson's one of the best advocates for it. He's a very strong dude. It's just not something I've ever done a lot of. I've never, thought that it was something that was necessary for a powerlifter. That's not to say that they're not, but it's just something I've never done, and I don't have the platform to speak positively or negatively about them. I don't have enough experience with them to say yay or nay, but I do think they are definitely beneficial. Like I said, Donnie Thompson uses them. The Russians swear by them, so they're probably pretty good. Brandon Cass, is lobster a good form of protein for a powerlifter? You know what, buddy? If everybody was rolling like you, we'd all eat a little bit more lobster. But You know, if it came down to lobster and a steak, I'm going for a steak. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.